talking. We're live! Yay! It is AtlanticScrum. Here we are. It's Sam and Jana and Jean-Pierre. And yes, so we're just leaping in updates from me. I pushed the Autograders client meeting into just a Slack thing because just getting busy. The key thing there is the legacy grader is failing. Just confirmed with Rose from SUNY Binghamton that she does need that working on. I have to try and fix that tonight. Ever since edX upgraded to Django 1.8, it does not seem to be working, and that is a bit of a problem. Yes. Otherwise, oh yeah, and I was very pleased to see Jana's update and get that working locally for me. But Jean-Pierre was in first. Jean-Pierre, how are things going with you?
Oh, fine. I just take some look. I try to understand a bit how your map are going into the local support application.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at the simple example of map, and then you look at local support, and it's like looking to things. The only thing that seems common to this is the map word.
Yeah, right, yes. Yes, we were looking at that. Jana and I were looking at the code for that this morning, and it has become somewhat convoluted, and it's using CoffeeScript, and it's doing this, that, and the other. And I think there's often, I don't know, I mean, this is one of the challenges in the open source projects sometimes is so, you have a lot, I've had at various times a lot of people come in, and they want to try out, oh, I know how to do this, and I want to try this, or whatever. And, sometimes I think, they will make something a bit more complex than is actually necessary. I don't know. I mean, it's but it's why it makes it a more meatier project, a more than just making something work by yourself. Because this is the brain expanding part of it, is trying to work with what was the other person who put this in place, what was the approach that they were expecting, how are they imagining this to be used, and that's what is quite brain expanding about all of it. Oh, and Raoul is here as well. Yeah, good stuff, Raoul. But so Jean-Pierre, were you able to check out Jana's code and get that working for yourself?
No, I had made a bit of code for myself just to check the headers of the thing, and when you send a request, Chrome sends the request to the do it site with the origin header that is supposed to be set, and for this to work, the do it site should respond with a header like allow access control origin and give you which site are permitted, which would be your site, or maybe starred, meaning anybody is allowed.
Right.
And then the browser will get the data and process it. But if the server doesn't return that, well, the browser says, well, I don't touch that, and it's not safe. And by doing what you have done with the extension, in fact, you have not enabled CORS, you have disabled CORS.
No, we're well aware of that. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. It's just we're just doing that for testing purposes in the first instance. But Jean-Pierre, you were saying you've written some of your own JavaScript code to try and get things working.
Yes, I just made a plain XML HTTP request.
Yeah, and you were finding that it wasn't, because this is the thing that Jana and I were talking about this morning. Is I'm not sure what do it provide. Do they provide the CORS thing? Do they provide JSON-P, which is an alternative that allows you to that's another alternative.
If you look at what they return, it's not JSON-P because it's not padded. You don't have a
no, but it's not JSON-P at the moment on that endpoint, but it's usually with JSON-P. It's not padded until you make a request and you say callback equals or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I've already looking through the Do It documentation. They don't mention CORS or JSON-P, which makes me think that they may, it may be, we may just be unable to request this data from the browser, and so we may have to consume it as on the server side and then make it available from our server. That may be the way we have to go, but it would be great to double check that that really is the case before we commit to making that server-to-server communication, right?
Yes, but I don't know. The small API document you you had, I didn't see it mentioned that. And so I lost a couple of hours because there was a typo in the example request in this document.
Yeah. No,
there was a slash in front of the question mark.
Yes, the documentation is not fantastic. We have found, like, so the one that a dead link that they sent me previously. I have found another. If you refer back to the ticket that we're working against, then there's another more detailed. Again, I still don't see any mention of JSON-P or cores in that. This is like a frequently asked questions document. Oh, is that the right one? Yeah, it's no FAQ. Here it is. I'll put this is. Yeah. So Jana's already been working through this, but I'll put this in the Slack for you, Jean-Pierre. Yes. Okay. Good show. Well, let's just move on. So Jana, how are things going with you?
I'm fine, thanks. Trying to play with this API.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it definitely returns JSON, JSON information. Yes, there is a problem with cores. Obviously, I'm not sure how to handle it, and will there be the same problem if we request it not from browser but from the server? Because in principle, if it's JSON, then and if it answers and we know how to find this information, there should be a way to get it. It shouldn't be that difficult, no?
Yeah, I mean, on the server, basically, it doesn't matter that it's JSON. Basically, the cores thing only affects requests that are coming from browsers. If it's coming from the server, it's just we can do the normal request. I mean, the fact that we can, yeah, it's. I mean, at least I don't know, unless they've got something set up that it's explicitly blocking that. The usual way around that is to do it from a server. And I think, as we saw in the, did I actually have the three things in the? So we've got. Try to share the screen. Let's move this over here and put this over here. Yeah, I guess on the example there. Yeah, certainly I've done that with other things in the past, but so it's a good thing to explore. But potentially, I guess what we have now, the possibility is, since we've got Jean-Pierre, Jana, Jean-Pierre, you have the possibility of combining your exorbitant brain power. I think you're both very smart people. You could pair and work together collaboratively on this if you were so inclined.
And I also checked the your square mile code.
Yes.
Another example, your square mile?
Yes, yes.
Well, the bad thing in this page is that the do it stuff is always showing as loading, and it never shows anything.
Yes, it's never. I think it in the last year we've very rarely seen it work. As I understand it, that's the old Do It API.
Okay, because they are sending a request to their server, to their own server.
Yes.
Not to the Do It API.
Okay, that's interesting to know. Yeah. So I think that the key next step is, having seen that, double check that we can't do JSON-P or cores, is to, again, rather than trying to do it in the big local support system, but creating like just a spike of, a fresh Rails app, what have you, even a Sinatra app, and just seeing if we can get the data flow working for the system. And so that, that's something that you can create, you could create together. And
well, this worked for sure because it worked with curl. So
yes, right. So yes, absolutely. But what would be interesting if you did create that is that what another issue that we have in local support is doing feature tests and making sure that they're sandboxed properly by using Puffing Billy. So you can say that works for sure. It would be nice to close that loop, and it would also be nice to have a separate testing system where we can try. At the moment in our bigger system, we're having trouble making sure that we are able to properly sandbox our feature tests of our pages that display Google Maps. So if you did create a little simplified thing that just did this in Rails and with a front end, that'd be a good learning experience, I think, potentially for both of you, and then also it could help us in terms of working out the best pattern that we have for sandboxing things. But Raul is also here. Hey Raul, how are things going with you?
Afternoon, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, you alright?
Yeah, I'm all good. Yeah, nothing major to report on my side. After yesterday's Scrum, I didn't do much on AgileVenture front. Been busy with a couple of projects on my side here. Still planning to have the dev meeting with those 2 developers this Thursday, I think.
Okay, cool. Well, what time are you thinking of doing that on Thursday?
That's going to be in the evening, around
Okay.
about 7 UTC or 6 p.m.
Okay.
UTC.
Good show, good show. Is there anything blocking you? Is there anything we need to sort out in terms of the website one, which is the AgileVentures main site? Is there anything that you need from me?
Nothing at the moment. Yeah, I think everything is under control so far.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of responses from Brian responded because he actually forgot about his pull request, so he said he'd have a look at it this week again and try and finalize it. And yeah, still coordinating a few things with Alejandro as well.
Great, good show. Yeah, I mean that's good. I mean, yeah, the site seems to be stable. We're under much lower load than we used to be during the height of the MOOC. It may peak again. You know, we're going to start the second part of the MOOC in January. Sam Pretty's thing for posting the actually I'll just check now. What did it do? Like sometimes it seems to work just fine, and other times, yeah. So just now, Sam Pretty's thing, it's posted the link to the Hangout and the link to the live stream, and it's all just worked fine. Other times, I think this morning when we did Euro-Asia, it you know, I had to delete it once. Anyway, but I guess I don't have any spare cycles for that, and it's you know it's a minor niggle. I mean, I think we still have the question of I guess the things that you're just out of interest. So Alejandro, I know it relates to the Hangouts. What about this other? Is there a particular feature that you're thinking of working on with Cade Chima for the main site?
So he still needs to get back because there were some bug entries in Pivotal Tracker, and I want to have a look at them and see if we can like reduce the amount of bugs. Because I don't want him to, since it's the first time he's like starting on it, I don't want to get him like a new feature.
Yeah, sounds good plan.
If it's a bug, then he can like get around the code base and get familiar with some of the stuff before he.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Well, that sounds good. Well, maybe we'll check in on. We'll see. Hopefully that will go well on Thursday, and we'll check in on Friday and see how it went.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that's the stand-up.
Can I ask one question, please?
Please do, Jana. Yes, go ahead.
I'm just wondering. Now I'm playing with this Do It API without API key. But I think that the client probably should have it, right?
Yes.
Could it somehow change what we are doing, or it doesn't matter whether we have API key or not?
Well, that was something I was discussing with Jean-Pierre the other day, and it's a little unclear because there are Google documents suggesting both that an API key is needed and that it isn't needed. So, I mean, what I would say is that's something to investigate. I mean, I think back in the day, you certainly did need an API key. The restrictions seem to be loosened. Certainly, for example, with GitHub, it makes eminent sense. You get a higher rate on your requests if you have the API key. But yeah, I think that's something to explore. Now, so Jana and Jean-Pierre, are you both free now? Should we set up a Hangouts for you guys to carry on chatting about this problem? Or, well, I guess actually, I mean, maybe stop the broadcast and you can carry on just talking in here. Would that be good? Okay,
for me.
Yeah. Are you free now, Jana, to hang around for a bit?
Yeah, I think for the next hour I'm free. Yeah, it would be great to brainstorm and try to understand most. Yeah.
Sure. And yeah, Raul, I presume you're not free now. You might pop off. What's your plan?
I'm gonna get on to some other stuff right now.
Great. Good. Very good to see you, Raul. Yeah, look forward to catching up with you later in the week.
Cool. Have a good evening.
Ciao. Take care. Bye for now. All right. Yeah. Well, so I mean, if you guys, obviously, I mean, I might just go make a cup of coffee. I'm always, like keen for leaving recordings on so that other people who are interested in the project can potentially watch the recording. Are you guys interested in setting up a fresh Hangout to record a brainstorming, or is it? I guess Jana, you seem to be having trouble getting in and out of Hangout, so maybe we'll just stay in here.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll just leave the recording running, and yeah, you guys can just I might pop away for a minute, but I'll come back and check in with you in 5 minutes. And you want to I mean, you've both got code samples. It might be interesting for both of you to get each other's code samples running on the other one's machine, just so that you can get that, and then. But anyway, feel free to have a chat, and I'll be back. I'll be back in a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks. Back in a sec.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Okay. Well, I made an application. I started a small project in Cloud9. I don't know if you are familiar with Cloud9.
No, not really. It's all new.
Okay. I usually work on Cloud9 because I had a too slow PC. my computer was too slow. Now I bought just a week ago another computer, but and this other computer doesn't have any camera. It's a desktop. It's not a laptop. Okay. Now I'm on my slow laptop, and maybe I can. I guess if I want to show something, I'll have to close some applications because I won't have enough memory. So I will shut down a couple of things. Or you show me what you have got.
Well, mine is on the GitHub on this link I provided to Slack, and probably you saw it. And it's very simple. It's very straightforward. It's just a request from the browser. So after that, I made a small server, like Express server, and I think it's possible to make requests from the server directly, and then render an HTML. I haven't started yet,
Because I started a small Rails project with.
Hello.
I froze. Okay. Okay, because I started Chrome. Do you still hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because my screen and my display is frozen, so I don't see. Okay, I see you. Then if I started, I tried to show you the screen of my Cloud9. I usually do that in Chrome. This computer is like 6 years old. It's too slow now.
Yeah, I understand. Mine is also slow, and today I bought a new one, so yeah, I'll switch to a new one soon.
So, well, it's not the good thing. C9.io. Okay. Okay, well, now if I share, I guess I can share my screen. Where is my... how can I share my screen?
I think on the, well, at least in Chrome, on the left, there's a screen share button. So if you move your...
Okay, I saw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. This is the Cloud9 interface. So as you can see, it's quite nice. You have you can edit files in here. You can run commands. Well, you can run bash commands. back there. You can run your application there. And so I made, and I just created this small project.
Yeah.
It's a small Rail project, and I just put in there 2 views, and one is just a stub. So if I look into that, I did not put anything. And this one, I just put something very coarse. I just put directly the script in there because I didn't want to bother to find where in the assets I should put the script.
Okay.
I just put the script right there, and I just put anything. I've taken that on the web.
Yeah.
It's nothing significant. I just wanted to see what was sent and what was received. So if I get, am I running? Yes. So I can get I can get there and type something. I will look on the other screen, like the name of my project. That's my username. And the name of my page. Whoops. Is it? Oh, it's not running. Okay. Okay, it started. I go there. This is what. Whoops, not started correctly, it seems. Your code is not running there. I will just start it from there. Okay. /sp/ what is it? I forgot the name. It's use API JS. Use. Okay. Now it's not the thing. There's nothing in the page, but what I wanted to look here is looking into the development tools of Chrome. Okay, and if I look into this, it's not there. It's is it there? No, it's where? Okay, if I look at the console, I will see the error message.
Yes.
And if I look somewhere, where is it? Elements? No, it's not timeline. Yes, it's it's resource, I guess. Okay, it's resource. No. It's network. Okay, it's network. Network. And I look into. Okay, if I do that again. Okay. Okay, here I have. I will see that this request. Okay, I use this get, and I see here the headers of my request. So the request here, you can see that you have this origin, which is my own IP address or server. You know what's here. And this is my origin. And then in the response, I don't have this, what I should get as from the document, you should get something like access control origin colon and the same as this, as in the request, like test do it APIs, something like that, or star, which means anybody. But this would tell the browser that it's a safe origin, or it's he can accept this data. But right now, doesn't work.
Okay.
And right now, it's not returned. Is there a way to tell? And I don't know why it's not returned, because there's no big deal in returning a header just saying you're a trustable source. I don't know why they don't do it, and I don't know if they can be prompted to do it by some other information. And I don't know if they can use JSON-P, but my understanding of JSON-P was that JSON-P is just that you add a function call in front of your data, of your JSON data.
It's a little bit more than that, Jean-Pierre. Okay. In that it means that the server returns the data wrapped in a function call, but yes. So often you can prompt that to happen by so for example, you've got that. Usually what you would have is you'd have another pair of parameters on the end of the URL. So you'd have like, you'd have like and callback yes. equals my function.
Yes,
and that would prompt the
sometimes.
Yeah, but often a JSON-P enabled thing is that you put that function name and then that prompts the server to respond in that way with the thing wrapped in a function. That's the common pattern.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so for example, I was just working with a team at Makers last week for the Makeathon, and they were working with the Tesco API, and so Tesco API, Tesco API, and then so the JSON-P thing there. There we go. So they is mention explicitly of the Control F JSON-P, of the JSON-P thing here. So for example, without JSON-P parameter, yeah, this returns just a piece of static JSON, yeah,
okay.
And then with the and JSON, so it's different for each person, and JSON-P equals my function, then it returns this.
Okay.
So this is a very common pattern. Lots and lots of API services do this. If you add the appropriate key pair, then you get it returned in this fashion.
Okay, so we can send a mail to do it.
Yes, we can follow up. We can follow up with do it, and I can. I mean, in fact, I've got an email from the lady who is our contact, and if I can just find her, yes. So she's I'll guess the I'll just reply to her. You can sort of see that me doing that here. Yeah. Hi, Hope. Yes. Thanks. We were able to have it navigate to that document. As I said, the link seems to give give an error. By the way, do you know if your API has support for cores or JSON-P, so that we can do requests directly from the browser in JavaScript? Many thanks in advance. So we'll see. I mean, the fact that it's not mentioned there, I mean, I think if we do a search for JSON-P do it API, so they've got sort of an annoying name that's not very searchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is that they've got? They do it.org, aren't they? The other thing to do is, I mean, if we can have a. I mean, what's particularly annoying is that they seem to have a lot of their documentation is actually inside, these Google Docs, which is, which is very It's interesting here. We've got the Do It API, different things. Full API. I mean, it's, you know, and like documentation like this where they've got like this underlined title, that's very confusing. You know, that should be a hyperlink. Yeah, this is some of the links not working. Other things there. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, probably we should at the moment. I mean, you could experiment by adding, you know, JSON onto the end of your requests, or JSON P equals or callback equals, and see what happens. But you know, in the absence of that, you know, we're sort of waiting for that. It's worthwhile experimenting with just rolling a little something the way we'll do the request on the server side, if you know what I mean.
Yes, that was. I started to think in those lines. Because in my very small project, if I can, if I share this.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
in my small project here on the Cloud9, and I was just like using the API and using Rails. But in Rails, I did nothing. I mean,
yeah, you're just using the Rails to serve the page, sure. No, and you know that you can give Jana access to this Cloud9, and you could be pair programming on there.
Yes.
So, I don't know, Jana, have you used Cloud9 before?
No, not yet.
Oh yeah, okay. So Jean-Pierre, you know how to. I mean, you know, you could start writing some Ruby code to make a request for that thing and make the data available.
Yes, there are some. There are something like you have some net.
Yeah. There's net HTTP thing in
there is HTTP in Ruby that you can use to. I saw some example on the web.
Yeah. Indeed, we've used it. I have used it many times. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Tansaku, Sam, is there a chance? Do I understand correctly that course is just checking the secure of this server? So,
well, it's the browser. The browser is applying the restriction. The browser is saying, you know, with the browser, like the JavaScript engine on the browser, when it requests to a server, if the header that is not set to say that this is allowed, then basically the browser blocks it. Because basically, so for example, you know, it's worried about a situation where, you know, like a banking site, and they know that they don't, you know, they've got some stuff and they don't want it to be, you know, we don't want like browsers around the world accessing our thing, you know, when people are browsing on other sites for security purposes. So we don't want to make, you know, we don't want this to happen. And so they, you know, they're set up like that. And what it means is that, you know, other JavaScript that might have got your account details, you know, by, you know, hacking into your cookies or what have you, will not be able to make that request. So it's the browser that's enforcing the restriction, if that makes sense.
Okay. So, I mean, is there a chance to ask Do-It people just to, or do they have their reasons not to send this information?
Well, they may, but that's the email that I just sent them.
Yeah, okay.
So that I'm asking them, do you know, are you, it looks like they're not CORS enabled. Yeah. So they might support JSON-P and it's just not documented yet. So the Tesco API, they weren't CORS enabled, and you know, so that you know, but they do support JSON-P and it's documented. So you know, we've got now one of a number of things might happen. The Do-It people may come back to us and say, sorry, neither of those are supported, and then we know we have to do it on the server side. Or they may say, oh yes, we're just about to release a JSON-P. Or they might say, oh, actually, now that you're asking for it, well, yes, that should be out in a few months. And depending upon the answer we get back, then we might, you know, be doing different things. But in the meantime, I think we probably have to assume, you know, the worst case. I mean, we might say, oh, well, let's wait to see what they say and work on some other things in the meantime. But from our client is kind of saying this is the key thing that the client's interested in. So if we can make, you know, I think if we can make, you know, something work on the server side, I think that's a useful way forward here. And as I was saying, if we've done that, I mean, I think just like, I mean, I think you had quite a lot of fun with VCR and so on, you know, in the takeaway challenge and this, that, and the other. I think if we could, the other thing to look at, I mean, I think it shouldn't be too difficult for you to get something, you know, working that does the server-side request. That's not particularly challenging. I'm sure you can sort of do that. the thing to look into, I think what would be really interesting is this Puffing Billy gem, and sort of practice writing some feature tests that, you know, like test that the map is working and that the things appear. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a look at the feature tests that we have in local support, they, you know, check that the markers are being displayed, because that's something ultimately that we're gonna want here as well. Now, Puffing Billy is like VCR, but instead of providing a sandbox for the server, it provides a sandbox for the headless client. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you look at the pull requests that we've got on local support, you can see other you know, local support people having trouble getting this all set up. I mean, you probably saw the amount of additional data being spilled out when we run the Cucumber and RSpec, particularly the Cucumber tests. So there's kind of, I think overall we need a better understanding of how we can use Puffing Billy and VCR in combination, with VCR on the server to sandbox the server and Puffing Billy to sandbox the headless client, to make sure that, you know, we have properly sandboxed the whole package.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's a bit overwhelming. It's all new. So, what do you think? It's better for me now to continue to try to work with API, but on a server side?
Yes.
Or, yeah, first.
Yeah, definitely that first. I'm only mentioning this other stuff for get the you know, server side contact to the API, displaying that in a map. Yeah, just spike that. Don't and if that's, you know, don't worry about anything else until that's done.
Okay.
And having done and feeling, and once you're feeling, and ideally if the two of you can work together on that, that's great. Once you're comfortable that, okay, we've got this working and we're happy with all the moving parts and so on, whatever, and if we haven't heard back from Do It by then, what I'm saying, the sort of the extension of that is to, I mean, one, you could start thinking about, okay, now we've got some kind of basic prototype working, how would we use that in local support, which is a, you know, that's a separate tricky thing. What one might do before there is just practice testing the spike, if you know what I mean, to kind of get used to the flow in a simpler system before you try and deal with the more complex testing environment of local support. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So do you guys want to carry on using this Hangout for a bit?
Sorry, I'm afraid I need to break for some time, and I can continue working on it a bit later.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Thanks.
In which time zone are you, Yana?
Sorry?
In which time zone are you, Yana?
I'm in London, but I just have some family stuff going. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, because for me it's like it's near noon.
Yeah, so I think Jean-Pierre, you're on the East Coast.
Yes.
Of the Americas, and
usually I'm available in the morning.
Right. Yes. Well, so I'd say, you know, do feel free to. You've got the, you know, the local support, you know, chat environment on Slack, and so, you know, what I would say is that you might be tempted to start DMing each other, but I would, even just arranging to do a pairing, you know, do it in the Slack, and then that means that, you know, if one or other of you isn't available, it means other people who might be available are. So it's like, we often see this, is people are like, oh, right, we'll pair together, and you kind of then you miss each other. But if you're doing the discussion of it all in the group context, then, you know, I think that's really helpful for the distributed team. And what I would say is you can record the pairings that you do. If I just do the screen share, but obviously you're perfectly capable of setting up Hangouts yourself.
I did that once.
Yeah, through various means.
In the course.
But yes, I'll just show you what we provide in, one of the things we provide in AgileVentures is within the project. If we do projects local support, if you're in the project and you're sort of signed up to the project, so you've added yourself, basically you get this starter Hangout on Air link here.
Okay.
You see that? And basically what that should do, that will start you a Hangout on Air, a Hangout that's recordable, one, and two, that it should post, if it's working properly, it will post the link to that Hangout into local support here, so that other people in the local support team can pop by and say hi, or give you help and support or what have you, or just that they know that you guys are there working on a particular thing. And so, for example, if we look at Met Plus here, you can see here was somebody in the early hours of this morning. They had clicked their link, and it's basically does this and pops this into here, and that means they're kind of keeping themselves. What we're trying. The vision really for thing is that we've got like a worldwide office. So everybody's always in like just the cubicle next to each other, right? So wherever you are in the world working on local support, you kind of get into a hangout room, and it's just anybody else in the project can pop by and say hi, and it's like you're working in the office next door kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
And what about Cloud9? Are people using? I'm almost using exclusively Cloud9 if I can.
Yeah. I think that's fine. I mean, it depends on different people in the projects. I think Jana's about to get herself a brand new laptop, I think.
Starting from tomorrow, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's up to you guys. I think Cloud9 is a great way to do collaborative sharing. There's a sort of speed issue there. I think Jean-Pierre, did you have trouble? You weren't able to set up the local support on your local. What operating system is your local machine?
On my local machine, it's awfully slow.
Yeah. I think that's Jana has the same.
I bought another one anyway. I bought a desktop.
Okay, you bought a new desktop. Yeah. But basically, it's up to you guys. I mean, to work out what is an effective pairing thing, whether you're doing on Cloud9. I mean, you can combine. If Cloud9 is a bit faster for you, you can be using Cloud9, Jean-Pierre, and you can push stuff onto a branch, and Jana can pull that down onto her machine. And there's a lot of different options. And I'm always going to be around for give you. Like you can try out one thing and then say, hey, we tried this, it didn't work. Can you help? And yeah, I'll very happily help you with tips on how to set up your Git flow or whatever.
So, yeah, thank you very much, and sorry, I have to run now.
No problem at all.
I'll be back tomorrow morning, and yeah, we'll tell you about my progress.
Fantastic. All right, we'll see both of you tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.